This month's travel updates. Vaccination continued to play a key role for travelers being permitted entry to countries around the globe. Digital vaccine passport are looking for final rollout this summer. Sharecare verified badges for hotels and resorts. And the confusion behind the U.S. State Department Travel Advisory. Countries are opening, but with very specific requirements. The number one question remains, should you get vaccinated? If you're looking to travel, especially to international destinations, you're looking at a high possibility while countries and cruise ships are waiving requirement for tourists who are fully vaccinated or require travelers to be vaccinated.
The latest news is the European Union is set to permit entry to American tourists who are fully vaccinated as soon as this summer.
If you have heard of Sharecare Health Security VERIFIED badge, it is a verification check mark to guarantee guests and employees' highest level of safety.
In collaboration with Forbes Travel guide, Sharecare, a digital health company, becomes a platform where health security across the hospitality industry is verified to comply with public health protocols and best practices against COVID-19.
When you see this badge at a hotel or destination, you can rest assured that your safety is at the highest level. Los Cabos is proud to be designated as the world's first Sharecare verified destination. Digital vaccine passport, or sometimes referred to as immunity passport, are looking to be fully integrated with travel partners by this summer. It is an app or an online certification that displays a traveler's COVID-19 status or the vaccination record. An example would be Verify that is being used by American Airlines and British Airways.
It pulls all the required documents for verification and communicate internally with the airline that you met all the qualifications.
What does this mean for you? Shorter wait time in line at airport check-ins. Travel insurance specifically for COVID-19 continues to be a requirement by many countries. Be sure your travel insurance has the specific wording of COVID-19 coverage or a letter accompanying the policy stating the coverage as a medical condition. It is an additional cost that most of us rather spend on something fun for the vacation. Travel insurance in reality is to protect your travel investment from the unknown and potentially incredible costs of unprecedented event. My advice to you is to ask this question. When things go wrong, what is your plan? In the fast-changing world of COVID-19, the U.S. Department of State Travel Advisory have been one of the resources people use as guidance in the planning of their travel. There have been questions about whether the advisory could prevent you from traveling. The advisory is an accumulation of well-established statistics about the general health of a country. The level of advisory range from level 1, lowest, meaning exercise with caution when you travel, to the highest level, level 4, do not travel. They serve as advice and not enforcement in travel. The advisory are most helpful when used according to the specific needs and conditions of the travelers.
An example is Puerto Rico on the level 4 advisory. The State Department advises against travel to Puerto Rico. Meanwhile, CDC states those who fully vaccinated can safely travel within the U.S. The advice is for those who are not vaccinated, likely to be at a higher risk than those who have.
By categorizing Puerto Rico as level 4 creates a potential confusion that the country is unsafe to travelers altogether. The biggest confusion surrounds the latest news of the U.S. State Department updating 80% of countries worldwide to fall under level 4 advisory, when according to State Department, there was no reassessment of the current health situation in a given country. The question would be, what measure was used to determine the country safe for visit before, now deemed unsafe to traveler? In summary, the State Department advisory are a good source, but should not be the sole source to guide you in the planning of your trip. The safety of your travel is dependent on the regions of the country you're visiting, the participating activities, of course, common sense, among other factors, including, but not limited to, whether the visiting countries are accepting international travelers and the required COVID-19 protocol are in place. The presence of any verifications, such as the Sharecare Verified badge, to guarantee the highest level of COVID-19 safety, the country COVID-19 condition and progress, access and capacity of medical facility in the country, specifically the region you are visiting, your own health, your COVID-19 vaccination status, and your medical conditions, if any, the coverage of your travel insurance, your length of visit, and the country where you are prior to the final destination. With all the changes, where can you go? Great news. Direct flight into Croatia are confirmed for this summer. Iceland and Egypt are both open. Starting this May, vaccinated traveler will be permitted entry to Greece as well as France, as the country will begin to lift restrictions ahead of schedule. Tahiti is opening this May as well. As for cruising, the cruise industry is still in an ongoing debate with the government for a set date to return to sea. We will keep you posted. Any other countries you have in mind, we are a phone call or an email away. Travel demand is on the rise and will continue into next year, especially now that the European Union has announced to allow fully vaccinated American tourists to make visits as soon as this summer. If possible, plan and reserve your trip in advance to avoid competition when travel is at its peak. Equally important is to check the expiration date of your passport. Passports have a lifespan of 10 years, so it is easy to forget the renewal date when they're not used frequently. You don't want to end up at the airport with an expired passport. If you are ready to see the world and Tahiti is on your bucket list, see the offer below for our exclusive 7 nights to Tahiti with Paul Gauguin Cruises. If you have any question or concern, give us a call. I look forward to curating beautiful experiences for you and your loved one safely and worry-free. This is Debbie with Live Travel. Safe travels.